wait on the edge, next circle pop, and this is where I think they got a bit lucky, Hot Jukes. The simple fact that central compound was unoccupied and they did not even scout it and they just sent in like, oh, we didn't have to fight for that compound. That's love it. Fantastic. Please more of that. It just worked out and gave them a chicken dinner. Of course, it was a great rotate, but there was also a teeny little bit of luck there, the sense that no one was in that compound. That's crazy, crazy easy entry point for them at that point.
It's unbelievable, man. I mean, it was so gorgeous. Like you mentioned earlier, right? They were just hanging around on the south side of boot camp. And that is such a great idea, because if that zone did go on over to the east towards Tatmok, they had a beautiful, just straight beeline path to that side too. So they were staying there. They waited patiently. Once they saw that shift, they just wrapped around through that blue, yeah, I mean, the thing is that I honestly think that they did scout that compound in the center, and I think they were willing to fight for it regardless. It's just super fortunate for them that they didn't even have to. They were just oh, this is wide open. All right, GG.
Oh, for sure.
And they got the win.
They were super lucky the fact that it was free, but they were definitely ready to fight. They knew it's all we fight or we get eliminated by the blue or by a team that's going to hold us out into the blue zone. So they're like, okay, this is our only option. We're going to send it. It just happened that the compound was free, and that made it very, very easy for them. Though, as we go over the highlights here real quick, Hot Jukes, I want to bring it at the start of the game. The first fight that happened. Thunder Talk, chilling on the mountain. We know they drop there. That is their drop location. They play it so damn well. And yet, 4MV be like, but maybe no one up there? But like, of course, no, someone's going to be up there, Jukes. And like, they just send it and instantly go out. So weird decision from 4MV. Not sure what was happening there.
Yeah, you know, it could be that little bit that overconfident. I don't know what it is, because 4MV I thought these guys were going to be unstoppable, right? I thought they're going to straight juggernaut this entire lobby. And then all of a sudden, you know, we see them just bow out so early here, you know. And Thunder Talk, though, 9 eliminations, no points. What a great game for them. I mean, I also like their, how can I say this? Their Zapdos impression that we saw a little bit earlier,
Zapdos? Max? What? I didn't catch that.
With the flying car, dude.
Oh, okay. I was like, huh? What is he doing? The leap of faith they were doing in the Valley of Death. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about. One player actually did make it across, Hot Jukes. Like, he was able to make it over the valley, which I did not know was feasible. I guess he just had enough momentum with his car or bike to make it across. But the 3 of the players did not have the same amount of luck, and the Vicious just got easy 4 eliminations pretty much, as they got 6 total. So GG.
You know, I'm looking at this, and I think one big talking point we had yesterday was about like D+. Like, yes, we're seeing, you know, these South Korean teams, they're able to play center, but you really have to give it to D+ in particular, able to just rotate in. And I still don't understand how they got into that compound without being spotted. And it was the compound to play from as the game progressed on. I mean, you have to kind of feel bad for Void Donkey since they dropped in hot in. They did have the opportunity to get a lot of eliminations up there. And then crossing that road just seemed to be a feat that really they couldn't handle. And once again, Osal, he was our MVP of yesterday. He's going to be our MVP in this last match. What is going to stop this man?
Nothing.
I don't know. Yeah, no, literally nothing, dude. I think it's the glasses buff, Max, man. What do you think about that?
It's too many, but like white hair buff, red hair buff, glasses. I don't know. Too much.
Max is going to show up with white hair, glasses, rings. He's going to have everything just for a little bit of luck here. And some
but I still go down to bots. What is going on?
What is happening?
But no, but Void Donkey ID, it's unfortunate for them. They did go out because CAG were pushing on them, but it's hard to defend all of Hutton on your own. But here we go. Top 3 now. A new team's going to be joining the fray, and it is going to be the Vicious. 0 chicken dinners, 54 points, and 4MV. Got to be careful, man. They are slipping out a little bit, despite that big win of yesterday, but still only 13 placement points total despite having a win. We need to see them survive and not take these early encounters we've seen versus CAG Osaka and here versus Thunder Talk.
This scares me, Jukes. Like, we said this at PMWC, and I'm so glad we set it up then, because this is the era of uncertainty in PUBG Mobile esports. And the Vicious, a team who wasn't even necessarily supposed to be here, coming in 3rd place in a position to get into Grand Finals directly.
And they can easily make it in top 3. I mean, we heard it earlier from Seven. They feel confident. They're excited here today. And if they continue this
rest of our overalls. Liquid, unfortunately, not able to move out of our bottom 6 quite just yet, or our bottom 5, I should say. DRS, though, a slight little increase, so they get the 15th place here, Max, as you can see. But I'm looking at, teams like 77, Brute Force. I feel like they've often been some positions where they've just been kind of quiet, and they're currently hovering over that, bubble of potentially being knocked out of the entire PMGC. Yeah, I think it's going to get to, we say a lot, Jason, to the last 2 games to know who's going to be in the bottom 5 because it is going to be that close. But 77, I'm happy you bring them up. I think they had actually a good game plan here. I don't know if you would agree, Hodges, but they're 2-2 split, 2 players on the compound, 2 players down the hilltop, east of the main mountain of Northwest Island. It's a really solid split. Many top tier teams use that split when it is going to be an island finish up there. But unfortunately, they just get backstabbed at the last second by Influence Rage, which, by the way, that was a great engagement from Influence Rage. But 77, outside of Shifu really can pop off, they were struggling to win that fight because every player on Influence Rage is just so talented when it comes to those 4-on-4 fight engagements they offer. And yes, it's just another point was instantly and gave away his best start at that point in the first one. Yeah, it's so tough because 77 is land trifecta, the team trifecta split, and the second we saw that zone go to their spot, they just trying to get them over.
चाहिँ हुन्छ होला जस्तो लाग्छ है मलाई गइराछ मेरो आवाज गइराछ मेरो आवाज गइराछ मेरो आवाज चाहिँ गइराछ
To say for MV fans, that was horrible. We know they dropped there and they just sent it up there. So I think the game plan is just a bit shaken up and they're struggling.
अब चाहिँ मैले बोलेको चाहिँ कस्तो साउन्ड आइराछ गाइस यसो भनौं त अनि डेस्कटप अडियो यो PMGC हो र PMGO हो र हैन PMGC हो ब्रदर केही साउन्ड छैन है तिम्रो नि रे म बोलेकै थिएन अब बल्ल त बोलिरा छु अब त आउनु पर्ने होला थाहै छैन क्या ठीक छ त्यही धावा लाइभको आउँछ यसमा रे मेरो पनि आउँछ मैले नि लाइभको त आउनै पर्यो नि हैन र के हो मैले फर्स्ट टाइम ट्राई गरेको तिम्रो टाइटल PMGO छ हौ रे ए टाइटल पख है त PMGC छ त मेरो टाइटल ओके पख है त म टाइटल कहाँ हुन्छ यार ए पख ल ए पहिला पिएमजिओ राखेर त्यही भएछ कि पखला कसरी चेन्ज गर्छ यार ओइ कसरी चेन्ज गर्छ टाइटल मलाई त आउँदै आएन यार स्टुडियोबाट चेन्ज गर न रे स्टुडियोबाटै चेन्ज गर्न खोजे भेट्दै भेटेन क्या टाइटल कहाँ राखेँ नै याद छैन पहिला जे राखेको थिएँ नि त्यही भएछ मैले डाइरेक्ट स्टार्ट थिच्दिएको क्या मैले पहिला कहाँ राखेको थिएँ नै बिर्सियो क्या थेम आउटपुटमा सफ्टवेयर इन्कोडर रेकर्डिङ वाइटी स्टुडियो रे पखायो त पखायो त कहाँबाट चेन्ज गर्ने हो यो आएन यार ससुङ मलाई यार आएन भन्दा नि यहाँ देखाएकै छैन क्या त्यो लाइभ चाहिँ देखाइरहेको छैन क्या स्टुडियोमा उफ हाय राम ओबिएसमै होला नि त्यही त ओबिएसमै त हुनुपर्ने हो तर मैले भेटिनँ क्या त्यही हो सबै हेरिसक्यो अनि त्यो पनि एकचोटि सरर हेर्छु यता कता कता के छ भनेर प्रिभ्यू गेम सेम प्रोग्राम म्याच टाइटल अदरवाइज फाइन्ड वाट विन्डोज टाइटल ओके चेन्ज भयो कि भएन एकचोटि हेर न डिप्लक्स क्या त यार 92 पोइन्टमा आइसक्यो यार कसरी चेन्ज गर्ने त यार पहिले पिएमजिओ राखेर गरे थियो नि त एकचोटि हो त्यही बसेछ क्या अब त्यो चेन्ज गर्न चाहिँ आएन क्या मलाई पनि हाय राम कितना नूब रे मैं मलाई त आएन पिएम पबजी को लोगो देखिस वेबक्याम अलि माथि सार अरे यहाँ राखिदिउँ न त हैन यो म्याप कसैले नै हेर्ने हैन यहाँ राखिदिन्छु ग्रुपमा सेयर हान्देऊ न सस्मिक एकचोटि
and you want to be able to be like, right, that's ल भयो यार सस्मिक बल्ल बल्ल फाइनल्ली आई डिड इट पायो भयो
त देख्दैन रहेछ क्या वेबक्याम कहाँ राख्ने भएर कन्फ्युज भइसक्यो म यहाँ ठिक छ भयो अरे थ्याङ्क्स ब्रदर थ्याङ्क्स तर हिजो भन्दा चाहिँ अलि बेटर परफर्म गरेर छ हाम्रो स्टिल 15 मा छ यार साउन्डहरु त ठिक छ नि है मैले के गरे फेरि यस्तो स्लिपी नक फिनिश रे ठ्याक्कै पबजी को माथि राखेर पबजी को माथि ठ्याक्कै पबजी को माथि ल भयो होला अब के हुन्छ नि यार दुईजना त गयो ओइ क्या छल्दै गयो यार त्यसले तर कस्तो छल्दै गयो त्यसले बब्बाल छल्दै यार DRS 16 मा कन्भर्ट भइसक्यो डुओमा अरे एकजना नक थियो एकदम सानोमा हेरेर चुक्किरहेको छु यार तर हामीले नेपालीको त लाउन पाउँछ कि पाउँदैन नेपालीको लाउनु पाए भए अझै बुझ्थ्यो नि नेपालीले फेरि कपिराइट हान्दियो भने तनाव हुन्छ अँ 4MB ले हल्का गेम छसक्क छस्का छ सुटिङ रेन्जको हिलमा छ यार तल कम्पाउन्ड भएको माथिपट्टिको हिलमा ओइ DRS को XMPL पनि नक DRS फिनिसै भयो त्यो ट्रिपल एस क्या पनि निस्क्यो सस्मीको के अरे ऊ छ होइन सक्यो भन्दा नि हुन्छ DRS अब के भन्छ अरे डिस्कर्ड छ होइन त्यो डिस्कर्डमा जोइन हुआ नि त बोल्दैखे हेर्न मिल्यो नि त एक्लै त निन्द्रै लाग्छ क्या अहिले फेरि हेरिराख्नु गेम पकाए त म डिस्कर्ड तान्छु यतापट्टि म अहिले खाजा खाएर आउँछु रे हुन्छ जे खाएर आए नि भयो हुन त जे खाजा खाएर आउ न बोल्दै हेऱ्यो भने मजा आउँछ भनेर मात्र हो क्या म लबीमा आएर बसिसकेँ तिमीले मलाई रिक्वेस्ट पठाछ र ओए माया कसम वाडा नेट 12 पनि निकाल्दियो पसलमा हुन्छ नि त अरे ए ल ल एक एलिमिनेसन पोइन्ट छ यार टिआरएस फुरान थर्ड प्लेसमेन्ट पनि त निकाल्यो है गाइजहरु थर्ड प्लेसमेन्ट पनि आइसक्यो ब्रुट फोर्सलाई पुश गर्यो भने चान्सेस त बन्छ नि अलिकति भए पनि ब्रुट फोर्स र त्यो फाइट गर्यो भने फाइदा डिआरएसलाई हुन्छ अहिलेको लागि चुप्प लाएर बसिरहेछ नि त्यो प्लेयर यस यस ब्रुट फोर्स र आइएनएफ परोस् म्यादर रणमतीको छोरोहरू एक प्लेयर त टेक डाउन गर्न भ्या छ अर्को प्लेयर लो थियो हिल गर्यो आइएनएफ सिधै पुसका लागि जाँदैछ ब्रुट फोर्स माथि एक प्लेयर त टेक डाउन गरेका थिए, अर्को प्लेयर पनि यहाँ ढल्यो। आइएनएफ को एक प्लेयर पनि टेक डाउन गर्न भए यार। ब्रुट फोर्स पुसको लागि जाँदैछ आइएनएफ माथि। फुरियाको यो बग्गी रनओभरले सायद किचाउँछ कि। ओए रनओभर भेकलको साथै एउटा त टेक डाउन गर्न भए, निकाल्दियो यार ब्रुट फोर्स। डिआरएस सेकेन्ड एलिमिनेसन पोइन्ट निकाल्यो, सेकेन्ड प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट एक एलिमिनेसनको साथमा। एउटा प्लेयरलाई त नक फिनिसै हाने हुन्छ यार। तर एउटालाई त नक फिनिस हान्दै हुन्छ क्या। तर कभर आइहाल्यो नि यार, कभर आइहाल्यो नि। जिजी टिआरएस सेकेन्ड पोजिसन। प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट त निकाले नि। कति हो रे प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट? सेकेन्डको 5 कि 8 हो? जे भए पनि निकाले प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट, त्यसमै खुसी हुँ। एक एलिमिनेसनको 7 सेकेन्ड पोइन्ट। ओए हाँसिरह त बस त। ओ फोन तात्तेछ यार, त्यसले नि फोन माथि फ्यान हाले यार। 1 पोइन्टबाट सिधै 7 पोइन्ट। ए सेकेन्डको लागि 7 हो, 8 होइन। 9 एलिमिनेसनको साथमा चिकन निकाले यार ब्रुट फोर्स। ल खाजा खाएर आउँछु अब अरे। ल ल ल ल ल। जिजे दाब्बे यार। ए टप 1 लाई 10 अनि सेकेन्डलाई 6 हो। म त बिर्सिसके यार। 20 थियो, 27 पोइन्ट भयो होइन भनेपछि। Let's go guys, let's go for 10 likes guys. Like पनि हान्नु, very close to 10 likes. Hey. जे ब्रेक टाइम भएको बेलामा यसो चिया बनाएर हाल्नु पर्यो Hello, bro. Hello. Admin, welcome to the stream. Yes, I am, brother. Thank you for 10 likes, guys. Let's go. के गर्दैछ हौ केटाहरू? Hello, मिस, वेलकम टु द स्ट्रिम। आवाज आइराख्छ मेरो क्लियर कट सबै ठिक छ? खै साउन्ड रे मैले बोलेको सुने हैन र सुनिरा होला हेलो हेलो माइक चेक आइरा होला मेरो माइक हेलो हेलो आइरा छ त माइक आइरा त मेरो साउन्ड मैले बोले सुने हैन र भनेको तर 4 जना घुसे यार मा टिआरएस कहाँ छ
I know. It's hard, especially when they rotate down to back as well. What are you guys doing?
Didn't get the circle. We're a military team. We did get the circle though. Like, no doy. Come on. How did that happen?
To be fair though, they're not the only culprits for this. There's been several teams where I have just been questioning time and time again the play. Like in terms of some of the rotations coming through, it's like there is a lot of cases where it's like, in what world did you think that this was going to work? I don't know what it is inside this lobby. There's just some weird antics going on. Team Liquid, though, in North George, looking to hold out Team Secret once again, by the way. This not only happened on Sandhawk in the waters, but now happening again on Arangel. Team Liquid with their fishing harpoons at the ready.
Always a bridge, and Team Liquid
hello, hello.
on the other side. This time Team Secret can't get them out of the way. Mythic tries to jump into the liquid fire itself, but is extinguished in the meantime. The knock should go through. And Team Liquid picking up points here. It's going to be great news for them. They're in a pretty decent position as well, Blank, to try and put some more points on the board. On North George, they've already got across. It's quite likely that the circle goes up towards the north. The river looks kind of like it's splitting a 50-50, but you've got to remember that big open estuary that sits to the west of Georgia Pole takes up so much of this circle, meaning that 50% of the north side of the circle is the north side, but maybe only 30% is the south side. So you're playing that angle, that odds.
Very similar circle as well to what we've seen before. It's really awkward, especially the estuary over towards that western side. You just got a massive massive amount of water in play. It's not easy to play off this one. There's not a lot of room to play. Everest also cuts out a ton of area down towards the southeast side. And the only real benefit from this circle is there is a ton of buildings in it over in George and South George. So that's easy enough to play off the back of. 77 doing damage over towards Influence Rage at the moment, with D+ coming in from that eastern side. Playing it cautiously right now, understandable. Hard shift down towards the south though, towards Crates. Wonder who is closest here. Maybe RQ, possibly. Voin Donkey haven't quite made landfall yet either, so they might be the quickest over towards the warehouses. We'll see who can take up that position though, because that is a very, very important position to be playing.
Definitely is. There's also the potential for a team that comes in late to try and take up position on top of Everest. It's not the best spot, but it is a spot. Sometimes that's better than nothing. Well, every time that's better than nothing, right? So maybe a team will be sending over. COG Osaka trying to get position over on the east side here, holding up around the bridge, and that is a really important central crossing area. COG Osaka not going across the bridge and stopping here is a play for points blank. They've got 5 limbs already. They know that they've had a double knock on side, so they will be going down a little bit faster. This position can net a lot of points, but with 77 already poking their noses in, they haven't established it quick enough, I think.
COG slightly late for the party. 77 have an oversight on this as well. It's a bit dangerous for them. They're not fully grouped up though, so 77 isn't a full.
केमा जोइन हुने हो रे मैले त्यो DRX को XMPL knock
Something done. Good shots from Zadira though, keeping them at bay.
त्यो डिस्कर्ड मा जोइन हो न
A little bit more important as well though, because the teams on the south side got to start to push in. 4MV actually make it into those crates, so you said that they are going to have a good position, but Brute Force going to contest it. Neil's up to the crates, has those off angles to worry about. Super low, doesn't have time for the heal, is just going to have to go bold, bare-faced into the fight. Freezer with the off angle. Voin Donkey pushing in from that south edge as well, as Neil's does fall to Voin Donkey with the off angle there. So it's not 4MV to take him down.
तिमीले मलाई रिक्वेस्ट पठाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ के
on that attempted crossing. They are down to 2.
Pod drops as well to AJ from Thunder Talks.
Okay.
I mean, for Brute Force is a strong spot. I think what they need to do now though is damage control really quickly, because if they get 4 up, what very, very good game potentially on the hands for them. They just need to reset onto this one. Need a lot of smoke so to get both players back to position. It's gonna be dangerous to walk. There's a ton of angles around here, which is why I was sort of confused by Reefus's angle. On the outside of warehouse, he's got to know that there's 100% a lot of players looking over towards him. Critter tries to spin out the buggy, unable to do it.
पखला म तिमीलाई पठाइहाल्छु मेसेन्जर हेर ल मेसेन्जरमा मेरो त्यो पठाउँछु ल आउ त
to send all the way towards the back line, try and get all the way through. Not going down there, that feels criminal. Not too sure what's going on in the north sides here. Circle shifts down south again. That is going to pull them out of this fight sooner rather than later. 2 players from the Vicious finally do take a tumble, and Stalwart pull them together.
Yeah, the Vicious doing that, totally unacceptable behavior. I would 100% agree with you. I think at that moment they were like, we'll just do something. We'll do something right now. It might work. Just do it.
If we don't know what they're doing, there's no way they know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for the Vicious, they just attempted something a little bit special. It didn't work out. Circle does move back down towards that south side, pushes off Everest. D+ Gear make a wide ramp once again down towards that southwest edge. Has hurt them quite a bit to do this.
Hello.
Just getting here in stage 3. I think they should be fine when it comes to meds. Like I said, the
huge
amount of buildings in this area, 100% likely not
all of
them been completely looted up just yet. I'll be able to play off the back of this. 4MV.
बोल न
was a pretty speedy rotation from them from Sosnoff.
आइराछ ल आवाज मेरो लाइभ हेर न ठिक्क हुन्छ
If Reefus hadn't have taken that aggressive angle and played as 3.
ल आइसक्यो आयो बल्ल आयो हेलो मैले बोले सुने हैन र छैन मेरै लाइभ हेर्यो भने ठिक्क हुन्छ नि त तिमीलाई दुईटैले एउटै स्क्रिन हेरेर हुन्छ नि त
अनि सज
solidify themselves at the top. 85 points.
त्यही भने त्यो आवाज चाहिँ कसरी हाल्ने रहेछ मलाई नि आएन कि हाल्ने आवाज चाहिँ
Digits. We're getting Willy Wonka with the point scores now.
मैले हेरेको
Yes. We are. Yes.
Right.
You're right. Absolutely.
ठिक छ पखाइ त म फेरि एकचोटि हेरिहाल्छु
Do you really agree?
I really agree. I do. Well, I was trying to figure out what you meant by Willy Wonka.
Ah, switch that, reverse it.
Wonka
That's the
Willy.
oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. You don't.
Okay.
You just don't understand my culture references. It's okay.
No. I don't.
Timothy Chalamet spinning in his chair right now.
Oh, right. I see. I was trying to figure out which Willy Wonka you meant.
Well,
That
it's
was
both Gene Wilder and Timothy Chalamet.
के भनेको
okay.
But
Gotcha.
Influence Rage rolled down to Stalwart finally.
Has Influence Rage off in the distance.
ल DRS क्यान
Tough game for them, but still 88 points.
ग्यान
now.
डेमन नक भयो सक्यो र
Very strong game.
मेरोमा चाहिँ सक्या छैन है
Zeta from Voin Donkey. And you know what? Voin Donkey's not done badly at all this game. I actually like their positioning. 77 actually wants to pick up that knock over towards DRS though. Who, once again, return to their real snakes and try and live out this lobby as long as possible. For DRS, hasn't been working out too well though. Currently at 28 points, at risk of going home.
Go on. Oh, I thought he was going to be able to get that bank. Instead steps in with the auto shotty and immediately runs away, giggling to himself. Doesn't quite get the point. And gets in the buggy. Actually leaves it over to 77. I think that's actually a nice disciplined retreat. You don't need to overstay there. You know you've already done the damage. That's nasty.
That is
turned into an
nasty.
L.
Yeah, heading over towards the northeast side. And a lot of teams do need to get a bit of a move on now.
तिमीले कहाँ हेरेको छौ मैले कहाँ हेरेको छु त्यो भएर जाऊ भाइ
I'd like to see our team have a good game, man. I really want right now. Thunder Talks doing a lot of damage over towards two of their players. A bit of a whiff on the nade there. One left remaining for AJ. Probably taking down Silas or Arena if he got that. Possibly not a bad team.
That's actually the second nade AJ's managed to miss onto these windows as well.
हुन्छ
Foxy dropping one out the sidelines, and AJ now wants to scrap the nades and hop in the window. Unfortunately, in the corner, there's a deadly Loxy ready to block him down. And AJ falls to it, so Thunder Talk not going to be able to capitalize off of their big game last time around. But they are one of the teams right now that is, as we said before, on the north side of this coin toss. And it's just not gone their way. Getting across the river, highly unlikely. The nades in through the windows, leaving King the last to stand. It's going to be a tall order to get that one done. But there's a third party. It's Apex taking shots, I think. No, maybe not. Over towards this north side, as they do have the north side of the crates. D Plus are taking casualties to Team Liquid in the meantime, and D Plus are going for a roll-up over towards Voin Donkey. They're opening up with Nolbu. Vexy goes down, gets that flush, but Osal takes a tumble as well. There are so many off angles looking out this way. Players in for D Plus is actually a
म्याचमा नि आवाज आउँछ कि म्युट रहेछ
Put
के
it that way. Osal with the 360 into the knock. Sad to see, probably going down here. Very unlikely to be able to pick Osel back up again. Big crash from Team Liquid. A lot of damage done already as Cardozin hits the deck.
Voin Donkey on the inside.
That
one off. Meanwhile, on the north side, Thunder Talk taking a lot of shots over the walls. Actually, they managed to get a res. They're back up to 2, and RCB are only on 2. So 2 players down for King. That's a great
XMPL र किलर वाइटी त पाँच छ
Team Liquid do go down. Voin Donkey hold their nerve as well. Just still a lot of danger to be seen. D Plus looking back over to the north side fight lane.
Foxy on the sidelines. I mean, really
RCB को अर्को प्लेयर पनि नक भयो
almost goes wrong, but he's able to keep it going. Him and Silas. But days are limited now.
30 भयो
They're on that north side circle.
8 पोइन्ट जति लिएर आयो हुन्छ अझै अब
But there's already so many teams holding this location. I don't know how CAG is still in this game. Has 3. These guys must be freezing to death considering how long they've spent inside the water here. But if they can get out, move those waterlogged boots, and then get on cracking, might be able to get something done off the back of this because you can certainly play over towards the cliffside on that southern edge. Just clearing out as many teams as possible in the process. E plus Kia relying on nades at the moment, but there is only so many inside this building. Yes, there's a couple of death crates, but that's about it. And DRS are off towards their eastern edge.
त्यसपछि त केही राम्रो छैन
Next circle. Goes up
Oh my
side.
god.
Okay. Great for CG Osaka, right up on that coastline. Brute Force also with that west side, the only team with 4 players alive, have such a strong spot too. Prepod up on that massive high ground, up the top of the cranes there. They have so much oversight onto all of the movements around them. It's very, very flat near them as well, which means that in general, they're just going to have such great angles. The difficulty though is of course you are very exposed up the top of those cranes. Taking shots is a risk. Freezer doesn't want to take it, drops down off.
Brute Force coming to the back of
कति बेलाको यो यही अहिले भर्खरको
and they absolutely have all the tools needed to make it. 77 finding killer from DRS, leaving DRS with just the singular player left remaining now. 77 actually hold a fairly strong position down towards the south side. Unfortunately, with that circle shift, it does just make life so troublesome for a lot of our squads. DRS attempted to get in over towards 77 as that circle moved up towards the north. Just example left remaining. Nobu over towards Furia though. Instantly there is a re-knock trade. I think for D+, likely they'll be going down soon. They just want to get further into this game, but with around about 3 other teams all on just one player, D+ just need to survive a bit longer into this match, but they know the circle is going to be cutting them out very shortly.
Brute Force moved down south. They put 3 of their players down that area to try and get rid of the teams in the south to extract a couple of points from it. They're up to 8 elims now. They can get this res. Just 1 player left for D+. Zadira spots the ascension there from example for Derail soldiers or Derail snakes, either way.
सक्यो DRS 30 point मै सक्यो यार
Place on the game. And we have 9 teams remaining into stage 7.
लास्ट थोरै प्लेयर बाँकी छ यार तर
Almost always
तर छैन
just by this circle over towards crates. There's
एकछिन अझै पास्न पाए भए त अलिकति भयो नि प्लेसमेन्ट पोइन्ट लिएर जान्थे कि भने
Chips though again huge amount of work on his hands going forward. There is a massive possibility for this to drop down towards the top 5.
14 24 25 26 30 पोइन्ट आउनु पर्यो नि त छिटो मर्यो भने त हो ओए मा कसम क्या निस्किने बित्तिकै क्या हान्दिरहने
Criminal action over towards Naoto, takes a second player down, and it's a 2v2. Moving on forwards, how on earth did not take down by those auto shotties? That right-hand angle really playing havoc with Naoto's aim there, but the nades finally from the back line might be able to take that one down. Law now, sliver of HP, gets the heal off. Another nade being cooked, but this is the last one for Matun. He's going to know that it's going to be very, very close by.
निकाल दियो
Comes on through. CG Osaka
पनि बाहिर
influence rage, but they lose one of their players in the process.
ओ आरसीबी यही छ यो भेजमा
One more to deal with now. In RCB down the way, and CAG will have carved themselves a lovely
सीएजी ले त दामी खेलिरहेछ यार
Surprising the CAG has gone on for so long. 7 eliminations as well. Fantastic stuff. And a game that CAG really did need, considering they're causing so many problems for themselves with some of these early game aggressions. They looked good. They looked strong, but a lot of times it was cutting out their potential towards the end of the game. But 7 elims should set them up towards the points right now, not to mention the placement points they're likely to get after this game concludes.
The thing that's continuing to rile me up though is that 4MV are still alive and in a spot that's going to be pretty important moving on forward.
आरसीबी निस्किनु पर्छ यार
Here with one good rotate on the game. I will give him that. Nice nade as well from Apex, finding Shifu. Top fragger on the map. Limbo boom down next. That's Brute Force chiming in. 2 angles gotten rid of. 77 slowing their approach now. Zadira the last to stand. It was on target, but it just went in through the doors there from Baron. And maybe a res for 77.
अब यो टावरमा चढेकोले बिताउनै भयो कसम प्लेयरहरुलाई
Freezer, come on, dude. To step out
Shots
to start things off, but not able to finish it off now. This is is a ridiculously strong position up towards the crane top. Down towards a lot of these teams probably will have to start dropping some
दामी
smokes
खेल रहा छ यार
some of
ब्रूट
these
फोर्स यार
sidelines. But yeah, for Freezer, look to unleash
त्यही
absolute
भने
carnage from up top. Now that he's here though,
अझै
not
चढेकोले
gonna leave
खतरा
anytime
प्लेसमेन्ट पनि
soon. He
निकाल्छ
has
होला
to make full opportunity of this position. And with the circle once again, like cutting in RCB and CAG, yeah, it's a
त्यहाँ हेर
really
न टपको
watch unfold right
95
now.
98 छ
A
यार
lot of our teams on this
अर्को
northern edge have
तलको
upgraded.
टिम पनि 90 प्लस 91 पोइन्ट
Transix from Team Secret still going. Surprisingly outliving
जान्छ
Team
होला नि
Liquid.
आरसीबीले अब
Yeah, I wasn't too impressed by their push in.
क्याचको त सिधै पुस हान्दैछ यार
RCB think that the pre-fire is over
ओइ
all their
झर्दिरा क्या
positions and don't know about Team Secret on behind them. That may come back to bite them if Team Secret can step out and get that backstab knockdown. Could be pretty devastating for RCB. Loxy there, staying pretty close to Silas now. They're playing off one another. Apollo nearly gets them on the
ओइ
line.
झऱ्यो यो
Master
पनि
didn't
भारत
take cover and out of the water for Team Secret now. The circle, I think it just keeps a tiny touch of this coastline in.
ब्रुट फोर्सले हान्छ होला
On the ridge. And the backstab needs to come through. Team Secret will place point to both of these teams.
थाहा पाएँ यार त्यहाँ पछाडि फाइट लियो
One that comes through, and now CAG know they need to make a move. They need to start pushing forward.
No
Silas
way.
is down. Loxy next to fall.
एउटा
Team
प्लेयर त
Secret
हानिदियो
find themselves one pick off.
एउटा प्लेयर हानिदियो एउटा प्लेयर
A little
बाँकी
bit more off the back of this, getting a top 5 if RCB goes down next to the AUG in the hands of Matton.
Looking for the back lines, not going to quite connect there. And Loxy now on lockdown. Cannot move a muscle.
कस्तो रिच टु रिच खेले यार यिनीहरूले है
He's aware of the divot that he's in.
पड्काइदियो ओइ
There's
लो
a
एचपी
little
यार
way that Loxy can make his way out of that one. Tags damage, but doesn't quite get the knock. RCB trapped in the middle. Trying, looking to just keep his corner safe. And actually maybe in this next zone as well with that little spot. Could potentially block out COG Osaka as well. Meanwhile, over in crates, there's still six teams. Well, 3 teams over in the crates still stand.
And Brute Force, 4MV, as well as Zadira from 77. None of these teams want to go down early, but 12 eliminations so far for Brute Force. We call these guys the comeback kings. I was talking to Jason before PMGC even started. Brute Force loses horrendously during PMGC, or they take it all. And that
ब्रुट
is
फोर्स हेर न 12
really
एलिमिनेसन
what
निकालिसक्यो यार
Brute Force is. It's all or nothing for this team a lot of times. Neos moves forward, tries to dislocate Apex from the rest of the squad, and CAG with the DBSs try to move over towards that top side. Transix though is doing an unreasonable amount of work.
आरजीबी निकाल्दियो सबै निकाल्दियो
Actually will win out versus them. RCB, CAG Osaka unable to deal with a secret that lies in wait from the bank.
लास्टमा त सिक्रेटले पनि खतरा तान्दियो त पछाडिबाट
4MV on 2 players. They are doing damage to Brute Force, but the open ground ahead of them, that's going to force them off the high ground. First to move will have to be trying. If he drops some smokes, there's no cover. It's just going to be sightline cover. And trying to win out those challenges.
ब्रुट फोर्सको त्यो पेजर माथि भएको प्लेयरलाई नकडाउन गर्थ्यो
Is that the high ground or is that on the low ground? I think that might just be beneath them there. Going for that res. Brute Force trying to move forwards. 2 players, 4MV. Up into 3rd place blank with their crash into crates. It's worked out well for them, despite being bled of players early on. And Baron's out forwards. They have the outside track. They've got the closest to the middle position. They'll know that Secret's crawling in too.
I think Freezer just killed himself. Just leapt off the crane.
Oh, maybe. Fastest way down. Lowest chance of getting flashed.
I think he expected to. I don't think he expected.
ओइ ब्यारनलाई धन्दै पड्काएको यार
That's about it. You get rested by the rest of the squads. Not to be. Brute Force will be down at 3 players, but still with a likely chance at winning this match.
एउटा पड्काइदियो यार ब्रुट फोर्सले एउटा पड्कायो भने चाहिँ पुस हानिहाल्छ जसरी फाइदा यहाँ सिक्रेटलाई भयो क्या किल पनि चोर्थ्यो नक भएको किल पनि चोर्थ्यो ला ब्रुट फोर्सलाई नै हान्दियो दुईटा चिकन हान्दियो यार ब्रुट फोर्सले
with a big elimination game, jump up to be contesting the point scores towards the top of the table. So I'll be excited to see how that one closes out.
Yeah, they hit around about a 70 to 80 point margin, which is very impressive. Like I said, brute force, it's all
Top
or
3
nothing
40
with
थियो
this squad.
टप 3 त छैन छिर्दैन
Well, as we
टप
saw,
3 को
brute force
पोइन्ट लास्ट
in the
धेरै छ नि
zone, winning the game. It's that simple. It's that easy. And
टप
a
3 को
back-to-back,
पोइन्ट
as
यसको
John
40
said,
थियो
ton of
40
eliminations
50
in this game. Brute force, you're going to be making some
पठाइ त
moves, and I would say inevitably going to be making their way into top 3 here, Hot Jukes.
ब्रुट फोर्स
Dude,
5th
easily.
मा हैन
Whatever it takes, man. You know, they got the circle, they win the game. Man. I don't know what I'm doing here because you know I was looking at that Sandbox match and I was praising you know
ए
crazy
हो रहेछ
rotations for deep.
हो
Yeah, but it don't matter, man.
Yeah, like I say, that's all it takes. Like, oh, chicken, that's all it takes. Easy. Easy for no. Like
14 किल चिकेन हान्यो
Get circle twice in a row, GG.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure 4MV wish they were in their position. But brute force.
त्यो त सेक्रेटले लग्दियो नि त एउटा नक भएको किल त
Get so much action on the southern side of the circle of crates, making sure that Voin Donkey, your D plus Kias, even your 77s to some extent are struggling to make that transition into the circle. They were really so proactive compared to the previous win they got on Iran. Here they were really involved in the conversation every single mid to late game shift. And off the back of that, they got double digit lift.
90 plus points
at the end, but they were so bloody involved this game to make sure that all of crates, they were the only team making it out alive. And as you saw here in the replay, they were in fact just sweeping teams left, right, and center.
On the west side. That's what it's all about, dude. If you're brute force, I mean, those guys were chilling there for so long. And I love their play. I mean, yeah, just go on over to the warehouses, you know, take one team at a time, push on through, and get
12 13 14 किल चिकेन
those eliminations looking good. Yeah, a good spread. I know we see Freepod there with only 2, but I mean, he had 620 damage. I mean, big up for this team here to get the back-to-back chicken dinners. Usually when we see a team do like this, yeah, we automatically see them kind of jump to the top 3. I think that's going to be very typical here for sure. One more good game, though. I mean, we're hitting the halfway point here for this group in just a few more games, Max. And to have a day like this, man, it's so good for the second half.
बराबर भयो र
Now in 2 chicken dinners, you had Influence Rage, you had of course D plus Ken, now they got 3 and now they got 2 chicken dinners over to Brute Force. It's just teams like to get
5th हो कि 6th होला 5th हो कि 6th त्यस्तै
we saw Team Secret get completely wrecked.
क्याच पछि मर्या हो क्या
He was in the water on the cliffside
6th होला
since phase 2, Hot Jukes, and he gets a second place. I'm like, that's my kind of gameplay. If I was in his lobby, I'm just like, please don't eliminate me. I want to get second place for doing almost nothing and just swimming. I'm like, it worked out. So like, props, I guess.
नौवटा म्याच 10 पोइन्टको टप 2 को 10 पोइन्टको छ यार एभरेज
You know what I'm saying? And if you realize, like, you know what, something on the board, you know, and hey, second place. That's a good placement point.
Well, I mean, we also talked about a couple of teams in how they approach this zone, knowing that it's basically centered up on crazy.
एउटा चिकन अहिले अब लास्ट यो एंगलमा एउटा चिकन हान्दियो भने ढुक्क हुन्छ होला
We were talking about watching the game about this. They came into that zone very late, knowing that sending it into crates like that with so many other teams had, it's just a death sentence.
And actually, even before they sent into crates, what was really interesting, Jason, is they went scouting on top of Everest. I think there was Fabian for D plus Kia, and there was another player. Actually, the entire squad of DRS sent it over to Everest to scout. Unfortunately, the scouting doesn't result in too much, Jason, because every team is just in crates at that point, and you just know you have to crash it. And I think the DRS and D plus Kia understood, yeah, well, we already have an option, you have to send it in. And it's better to crash it actually inside the warehouse than the crates itself, because you're very vulnerable to possible third parties and off angles. So the crates, not great.
अब चाहिँ माथिको चाहिँ चलेन
They made it a little bit further in the game and got a few eliminations, especially on Team Liquid. So I think D plus Kia knew they were not going to win the game. Just let's try and get as far as we can and as many points as we possibly can achieve this game at this really moment when we have to send it in crates.
Well, a team who had a phenomenal performance in the last match, I think it was with 11 eliminations. Thunder Talk here really not coming away with too much, and kind of a shame. They're up against, I believe, Regnum Carnival on the northern side of this zone. On the northern side, I guess the Erangel split up by the river here, and they just couldn't combat against this team from Turkey, Hot Jukes.
Yep, yeah, it's so unfortunate. When is Regnum Karya gonna wake up here? That's gonna be my question, right? We saw Brute Force, right? Back-to-back chicken dinners, and we saw what they can do. So it's
75 90
I mean, look at this.
98.
Third place, 75 points. The big problem that I'm having is look at this point gap, right? We're starting to see a good solid point gap here between third and fourth, and for those teams on that second page, and I'm looking at you, Regnacaria, right? Silas, I think he just really needs to step up for his squad here. You know, I think that he needs to just get a crazy game
70
to
75
kind of
5 80 90
reinvigorate this team for the rest of the day, and it's sooner rather than later, I think.
Yeah, I actually one final point I also have about them is like, is Razy not going to play this entire tournament? I'm a little bit surprised about that. But back to Thunder Talk, the point Jason was bringing up. The way they sent it into Regnan Karabra was very interesting because they just, one of the player, AJ in particular, just leaped through the window, which, as we know, Hot Jukes, especially going through smokes, makes you very vulnerable. You can't shoot while you're doing that leap animation, and then he just gets completely backstabbed by one of the Regnan Karabra players. So, a little bit interesting. I guess they were maybe out of utility, out of grenades and molotovs, especially because it was a wooden floor, Jukes. It would have been so good, but that push was not the way Thunder Talk were expecting, unfortunately, at that moment.
Yeah, and as we can see here, Team Liquid, just to quickly touch on, they did move into our top 11, so they have been able to, at least if we end things off right now, avoid being eliminated and being sent back home to Brazil. But RRQ, I mean, I don't want to knock them too harshly. I mean, RC being 15 plays, you talked about Hot Jukes, DRS in 14 plays, Alliance now in 13 plays. Technically, all you really do need is that one pop-off game, as you mentioned before. Yep. However, is it going to come? When is it going to come? Is it going to be on the final day where you've already fallen too far behind the other teams in terms of points? Like, if they want to be able to kind of save themselves, doing it right now would alleviate some of this pressure. But you know what? Speaking of pressure, it does make diamonds, and what makes diamonds even better is heading to a short break.
अब चाहिँ मेरो आवाज जान्छ कि गेमको आवाज गएन क्या त्यही चाहिँ झ्याउ लाग्यो क्या गेमको आवाज गएकै छैन नि त्यहाँ स्ट्रिममा गेमको आवाजै गएको छैन कसरी गर्ने के यो चाहिँ आएन क्या मलाई नि हालिदिने नि भनेर भन्यो आएन क्या गेमको आवाज हाल्ने त्यो ओबिएसमै हो अब खै कसरी पाउँदै आएन के
गेमको आवाज म्युट गरेर ओबिएसमा
छैन आयो है आयो है आयो आयो
है मेरोमा त ए मेरोमा आएन त्यो डिस्कर्डमा भएर
तिमीले केमा हेरेर आएर
मोबाइलमा
आयो आयो भयो भयो
के भएछ
साउन्ड अलिक कम गरेर रहेछ कस्तो लाग्यो त्यो इभेन्ट अहिले
खासै राम्रो लाग्यो त्यो भिकेन्डीको एउटा म्याप लिएर राख्दै जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई त भिकेन्डीको म्यापभित्रको लोकेसन क्या
Welcome back to day 2 of Group Green. I'm joined by none other than Osal from D+ Kia. Let's start off with it. You guys have been so consistent. Do you feel like there's anything your team can do to get even better?
디클래스 기아는 어제부터 표현을 계속 너무 잘했었는데 근데 우리 팀 혹시 더 발전해야 할 부분이 있습니까?
좀 아무래도 저 개개인 디테일적인 부분이나 이제 방향성이 어긋나지 않게 소통을 잘 해야 되는 부분인 것 같습니다.
So first of all, we need to make sure our details when we played, and second thing is we want to make sure the direction is the right direction, and the third thing is we want to make the good connection with the teammates.
Right on. Well, hey, one thing is that we know you can clutch up. I want you to walk me through that massive clutch of that 3v1 against VD in Miramar. What was going through your mind?
미라바에서는 선수님 혼자 3명 죽었어요. 그때는 무슨 생각 있습니까?
딱히 별 생각은 없었던 것 같고 좀 운이 좋았다고 생각합니다.
I don't have like really a lot of thoughts back to that time. I just think I'm lucky enough.
See, we call that being ultra instinct. Well, thank you so much for your time. Back to you guys.
Yeah, as Luffy went Super Saiyan, as we all know, over in Soul Eater. What a great little turnaround there here, and not much thoughts going through his head. He just sees bodies and he takes the limbs.
What did you say? What did you say, Jason? What? Just repeat that. Just say that again, Jason. What did you say about Luffy right now?
Oh man. Yeah, I said that the GT20 Pro is a phenomenal phone. You can play like a Pro Max. That's exactly what I said. Get that DBS out of here and show me something just as powerful.
Yeah.
There you go. The 120 FPS and 104 Hz AMOLED screen. Poor Hot Jukes. He's just never gonna get one of these.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm so sad. I want one so bad. Come on. Let's go. Who knows? You know who knows? Maybe something good might happen here soon.
Well, our team's to focus here. So I put 4MV 3 times. Hot Jukes, I think you put 4MV 3 times. And Max, you also did 4MV 3 times. Right. We realized we couldn't actually put zones in there as a thing to focus. But yeah, man, I don't know. I know we don't want to touch too much on it because I think John and Bling did most of that. But that was definitely not a good answer. Yeah, we're just thinking zones. Like, there's definitely a lot more to it than that.
You can't go at PMWC say Alpha 7 is overrated and now say you're struggling because you're not getting circles. Come on, 4MV. There's a certain limit to how much copium can be existent in one single team. So right now it's not been looking good. If you want to give them a bit of credit here, Hodgick, sure they did get some circle luck in this game and they were able to play around it to get a top 3. Like, okay, GG, sure, but they still lost players really early there. And that was, you can't blame the circle for that one. You just dropped next to CAG Osaka and you lost players instantly. Like, that's only but your fault.
Yeah, only but your fault too. And it's just so frustrating. I mean, I don't think there's a more annoying answer, at least in my eyes, when it comes to, like, the stakes that we have here at this game. I mean, you have to be able to put points up on the board regardless of the circle. So when I hear that question, I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you even thinking when it comes to this kind of situation? But, you know, hopefully these guys could get a good bounce back game. But I mean, what is happening? I mean, we saw the most ridiculous match, you know, in the first Aaron Gale yesterday, and then now it's just looking like an entirely different team. Was it just CAG Osaka that got in their head, or yeah? I mean, because honestly, like, look how late they're rotating now. It is wild. I love the fact that CAG Osaka did that though, because when you have a team, you gotta kind of just temper them down a little bit, and man, they did it in a major way.
Man, you know what? I would win PMGC. I'm just not getting the zones. This is the problem. I feel like, you know, we put a squad together, we're gonna win. I mean, okay, so last note for me on it, I feel like that's just a cop-out answer. And again, I think John and Blake already talked about it quite a bit. I think he obviously knows what's wrong and like what's not working for them, and they just didn't want to really dive into it. They didn't want to like not give an answer whatsoever. So that's the reason I think we got that answer. But in the meantime, take a look here at Nobu, able to surpass Osal, who was our MVP from day 1 here, who went Ultra Instinct. I'm not gonna make Max's head explode, I'm sorry. Who went crazy yesterday. But D+, they're not just one player. We've only mostly been talking about Osal, but really, they're all 4 players have had their moments so far.
Yeah, we said at the start of the day on the pre-show, right? The Nordbull was the first fragger with Orsal. They were tied with 14 eliminations, and Chips was in 4th position, just behind Doc with 13 eliminations. So they are currently all popping off really, really consistently. Their fragging potential is there, and you can say it, Jason. They're going gear 5th today. They're going the entire way. They will be the king of the pirates. And they qualified to finals.
Did they bunk Kaido?
Oh,
Jason, this
Did they?
cardboard DBS can hurt. Okay, I can do like paper cuts and stuff. Be
र
careful.
मैले त यादै गरेको थिएन यार
Don't want to do that.
Well, we're about to head into our final Erangel of the day. Brute Force, man, they've really been on a tear. And again, like having this kind of consistency, having the ability to have pop-off matches like this, but to do it, back to back, it's been able to net them from, I think it was like a 7th place start today up to 3rd place at 75 points. And they've even started to build up the gap against some of these teams below them. It's 75 for them. Vicious is at 58. But obviously, they're 15 points behind 2nd place at Influence Rage Offshoots.
Yeah, not to mention, they were starting the day, but they dropped down to 11th at one point, right before their pop-off match. So they definitely had a massive, massive jump. Big ups to them. And regardless of the situation, whenever you get a game like that under your belt, especially the first chicken dinner on a stage like this, I cannot stress enough just how huge it is for your mental game, right? You just say, hey, we could do this, right? Man, we're here to play, and you just start playing more comfortable. Hopefully, it doesn't get in your head too much, and you hop in a hovercraft and just start pushing everybody like nobody's business. Don't do that. But as long as you just can play consistently here, I mean, you're going to be in a great position. And one more good game today, and they're going to be primed, locked, and loaded here for top 3.
And I really have to say for Brute Force, right? I think this is a team that not too many people are looking at. Oh yeah, top 3 contenders, of course. 2 chicken dinners will do that for a team. But looking at the teams you have in the survival stage, we mentioned the big names you have already over there. I think, no joke, this is the best opportunity for Brute Force to go to the grand finals. I think this is going to be the easiest entry point. And I think they understood that, like, if we go through survival stage, our odds of qualifying, very, very slim. So we just need to get these big matches, play aggressive. Sure, the first chicken dinner was a bit passive because the circle just centered up around their compound a few times in a row. But here they were just sweeping all of George Paul crates, which I have to say is not an easy task at hand. That is a really bad kind of area to maneuver around. The fact they did it without losing a single player until the very final fight is very impressive to me. So I think the Brute Force, they got the momentum now. They're like, we have to send it. We need to be top 3. There's no other option available to us. So we're going to go the entire way.
And so looking at like the results from last match, Kagasaka is a team we haven't really touched on too much other than the fact of them being able to punish 4MV when it comes to Erangel, but they're kind of sitting in 8th place at the moment. We haven't really talked about too many teams coming in from Japan, unfortunately, especially with Reject not qualifying for this event, which would have been, I know Matt, he loves Reject. It's his favorite thing besides Aurora Borealis.
Rage LCO in particular, Jason, is my favorite thing after Aurora Borealis. No, almost a close tie. I love their playstyle right now, Jukes, which is anchor point across maybe difficult to traverse terrain. Rivers, always going to be serving as that anchor point for the team to regroup. Okay, Shifu, hello. And then they just send it over to Apollo if they need to instantly. And I gotta say, the snappiness at which they react to these circle shifts is very impressive to me, Pod.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this is definitely, it's only a matter of time for this team. I think they get a good position, maybe even a favorable circle, and we'll see them pop off here. So they need a good game under their belt, though. I think they're getting good, consistent points here and there with, with their rotations. But, and once they get that big pop-off match like we just saw from Brute Force, I think we could easily see them jump to the top. No problem. As a matter of fact, I think the same for pretty much everybody on this leaderboard. And that's what I love about this, Jason. Like this particular PMGC, we've been talking about it since the start. Anybody, right, can make it into that top 3. And I think for a lot of these teams, it's their only way into the grand finals, because that survival stage is just going to be too brutal.
Yeah, I think the survival stage / the last chance is the true group of death that we can all completely agree on. That I mean, obviously you have double the technically have double the chances in there, but realistically you kind of don't, since it's a lot harder to get top 6. But we're about to head into that final Erangel of the day. I can't believe, again, we're already almost at the point of being halfway through the survival stage and last chance to come up next week, and then just a few weeks time before we kick off the grand finals. But let's kick off the last Erangel. Will 4MV get the zone? Will it be another team? We know who gets it wins. John Allen and Blake, take it away.
Thank you very much, Jason. And
absolutely, we're just going to be waiting to see who is going to play it like Naruto and kick into gear third and spirit bomb the enemy and take them all out of the running. Did I get that right, Blank? I think I nailed it.
Yeah, bro, you're so cool.
Last time
You love anime. You're such a big fan.
That's right. Just like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely right. I'm going to channel some energy for myself here because I can't need it during this game. But for the boys over on the map side of things, 4MV looking to get something done. DRS similarly trying to get further into the match. Honestly, Killer has been doing a great job for the team recently on DRS. Just unfortunate they've not been able to quite get too much further into these games. I do think for DRS, the playstyle right now, it's not working in terms of it all feels very salvagey, which I think worked in the past. Doesn't quite work here in PMGC at the moment. And I think DRS has had like some really big heights of gameplay, but being a little bit outclassed at the moment, sadly. But we'll see what they can get done. Massive Northern Circle, so no split here, I imagine, on the river. We will be getting a very definitive Northern Circle on this one. Brute Force could even head up towards Severny if they wanted.
Definitely an option. I mean, they are split around that Georgia Pole area right now. On the east point of Georgia Pole, definitely a potential rotational route. Can't wait for 4MV to get bridge guarded by CG Osaka on the southwest side, so we'll be waiting for that. DRS in Melter, hoping that they can get their way through with all four of their players up to the north edge and hopefully they have a good game, something we've been waiting for a long time. I mean, we've watched these players for ages and we've been backing them as well, but so far this group, they haven't had the results that have been looked for. RRQ, they similarly have been denied those opportunities, but with this circle closer to it, could look for a fast rotate, but it looks like they're going to slow things down and play for a little bit of a longer looting phase going in towards minute 4 and then trying to get on their way. Brute Force are going for that Severny rotate, by the way, Blake.
Yeah, it makes sense as well, especially to start the game like this. You're given a massive opportunity, you're going to take it in your two hands, and especially with Brute Force going from so far down in the lobby, now up to third place with 75 points. We're still winning D plus to pick themselves up 100 points in this one, but I think if they can get it done in this game, which shouldn't be too difficult, it's 2 points roughly, they will be the fastest to reach triple digits out of all 3 of our groups so far. So really well done to them. They're currently on the south side around school, with north to them being RCB in Rozhok. Yeah, it's always an interesting start to the game because I do think Zone 2 and Zone 3 are actually some of the most hectic with a circle like this, because you get a lot of teams trying to hold over towards Rozhok Bridge, Ox Compound, as well as the Az Bridge as well. And those are most of the focal locations of the map.
Max has put his worst circle prediction into the group chat, and I think I'd agree with him. If it pops hard southeast, goes over to the Yaz Lake, that would be dire. It would be really, really horrible for a lot of our teams to try and get on. Everyone will be sending north, and those teams over towards those Yaz Fields positions who were trapped on the outside before will be laughing. But that's a very only potential future, and definitely not going to happen. Right, guys? Right? We'll have to wait and see. Influence Rage, sharing Yaz still with the Vicious.
Yeah, I mean, if it does shift down towards the southeast side, horrible. Influence Rage, Limb portions on your screen. 17 limbs so far for Lil Boy, really carrying the team in terms of the amount of work done. Only 8 points behind D+. I think for Influence Range, for them, it's been more about these massive games interspersed with some really good average point scoring matches, whereas the D+ Key, I think every single game has just not been bad for them, and that's what's kept them in the running towards first place so far. And it's funny to me, you look at it, it's like, oh my god, they're going to drop out. I mean, Brute Force, even third place, catching up to them. No, everyone leave Brute Force so far away. Yeah, these 3 teams right now just battling for first, second, and third. The only 3 teams.
It does kind of feel that way, right? And as we've touched on before, there is still a lot more games to play. We still got, after today, another half of the matches left. But you're right, having these gaps and projecting those points earnings into the future, it's very, very difficult to see a team that is trying to step up to compete. I mean, Brute Force were able to do it, right? So we've seen that. Thunder Talk as well. They have pushed up a lot of points over the course of today, with off the back of majorly the first two. Sandhawk a little bit less, but that big elimination game they were able to find on the first Erangel was a real big benefit to them, and that sits them 19 points behind Brute Force, and within striking distance, sure, but on average, it's just so hard to keep up pace with someone that far ahead.
In a big way. And I think for 4MV, 56 points, the Vicious at 58, and Thunder Talks at 56 as well. It's a weird one, because I think all three of those teams do have their inconsistencies, big time. Whereas Brute Force, right now, they've had a back-to-back, the circle like this, potentially another big game on the cards. It wouldn't surprise me if we get the three-peat coming through from Brute Force, the type of thing they do, but like, yeah, we'll just get a podium finish in one day, and then we just won't perform for the rest of the group. But we'll still get into grand finals.
That's just, it's fine, it's chill like that.
Yeah, because Miramar is their best map. Like, Erangel is not their best map.
So we're waiting for bigger things, maybe even more around the corner. Exciting stuff. Do you think that this is the match that D+ make it past the 100 mark? We were given some stats before by the previous groups. They're going to push up. I think they could do it. They're in a good spot here on the southeast side. They're across the river already.
Yeah. We already talked about this. In detail.
They're across now.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they're moving.
There you go.
Circle. Is Team Secret in the way? I think Team Secret have left. And are not in the way anymore. So 4MV, they are off the military island.
That's what we want. That's what we want from 4MV. I mean, it's for 4MV because technically Eastern side is less optimal for them, with there being Team Secret, DRS as well, Cellcom, Digi Alliance in front of them, and there's only CAG Osaka on the west. They're such a prickly team. I think 4MV is just like, look, Team Secret actually DRS just do not give us any trouble, so we're just going to go to the Eastern side. Seems so much better for us.
Yes, it's worked out for now. Not losing a player, optimal in terms of strategy. The Vicious on the north side of the Yaz Lake as we wait for the circle to close. Team Liquid close by to influence Rage. Two Brazilian teams in the lobby, one of them doing a lot better than the other. The Vicious add a point to their tally, Stalwart losing a player. RRQ have taken a knock as well over on the northwest side, so difficult approach. That is a hard west shift. We're not going to the Yaz Lake, but this is still back to the shooting range hills.
Yeah, not a fan of this one personally. I think for Brute Force, you actually do have a pretty big obligation right now to play coastal edge up towards that northern side. But the RRQ already made their way in is somewhat curious. We'll see how Brute Force can get past that location. But again, for Brute Force, still a strong game. I respect the fact that they moved over towards that northwest earlier on from Severny. It's a great springboard to play out the rest of your game. Nasty knockout on the vehicle though, and in comes D+ Kia. Nobu already finding Bruno Zin, and Osal finding David as well. Damn, it's gone terribly wrong for them. At least Osal is taken out, but that's from Cellcom Digi Alliance, completely different team who now Nobu's having to deal with in the wings. But D+, they have passed the 100 mark.
And in match 10, 2 matches earlier than both of the other groups. Fantastic result for them, and definitely something to be impressed by. But don't forget that Influence Rage could also do it. If we can have 2 teams going up, that would be incredible. On the eastern side, they are in a little bit of a scrap, though. They haven't taken a knock.
Yeah, it might be a bit difficult for them. Influence Rage, they're currently up against Team Liquid. But Team Liquid have lost a player. There is a full 3v3 going on at the moment. It feels more and more likely that the rest of Team Liquid are just going to bow this one out and get out of there. That's brute force. That is a long-range shot over towards RRQ. Damn. We weren't able to quite get the elimination on towards it, but that certainly put the fear of God in them.
Yeah, gonna try and move him off that position. Brute Force now out of Severny. Thundertalk will take up residency there. Voin Donkey currently trying to contest RRQ on that north side. And on the southeast, you've got Influence Rage actually looking to push in from this east side. 77 and Stalwart clashing ahead of them. Everybody looking to just try and keep their numbers up. 4MV, they're moving in from the southeast side. Chips on the back lines for D+. They're now down to one player after Chips gets flushed away. That's Doc picking up the point.
Yes! Go on, Doc. You're doing it! They're really doing it right there.
He's amazing again.
This is amazing. Well done, guys. Really well done. You've made into the circle. You avoided CAG Osaka. It seems like someone either heard us or realized that something needed to change. And I talked about, you know, a humbling had to come through at some point. Feels like match 3 was that for them.
Maybe that is their inflection point. Fabian in a fight against Stalwart, Fearless. Launching the nades back and forth between them right now. Not looking to step up too fast. Stalwart tentative. Another hard west shift blank. Going all the way out to the west side here. Coming on into the circle. Straight on top of CG Osaka. Donkey on the backstop. RRQ are doing well on that northeast side. Brute Force could sweep around and maybe look to play a little bit closer over towards that bunker hill on the west side of this next circle. So some really important positions to play out in the next few minutes.
I think for this circle in particular, it's a weird one because you have somewhat that valley coming through on the western edge. And on the high ground, I think Brute Force, if I was down, would be wrapping around all the ways towards the west. I think you're one of the few teams that has the agency to do it right now. We know that most of the teams are going to be on the east anyway, so that just gives you a ton of position to play around. There's no way anyone's rotating past North George Bridge right now to get into position. So for Brute Force, this is perfect timing for them to once again get another strong match. In the meantime, 77 taking casualties. Shifu's down, but not without a fight though, as they get 2 limbs in the process.
I feel like we were quite down on Secret's game plan, and I think that in general it has sort of been borne out, and again a little bit here. They've just been picking up these points here and there and snaffling them away from the lobby. No big breakout, standout performances from them, but they are consistently being a nuisance and getting quite a few points for it, it has to be said. On 49, they're within striking distance, and they are one big game away from jumping up. They have kept their floor pretty high in terms of point scoring ability. The averages, whilst they may be low, the floor of those numbers is actually fairly high, and they've been able to keep that going. So with one big game, they need to try and convert here, and maybe picking up some points on the northeast side, he can flex and get that res. But against Thundertalk, that's not an easy feat. Jackie around the side, they get that opener, and now Fire on the inside, the last to stand on the in. King up on the high ground, trying to get on down there, but maybe getting flushed away as well.
Yeah, it's a curious push out coming through, but DRS are not too far behind them, hot on the heels of Team Secret. Making shots down towards them, and they sort of have them penned in. Both teams need to move though. They're on the edge of the blue, but with DRS having that high ground, they do have good oversight. It's a good play from DRS to hold this position. RCB finding players from 4MV. Reefus goes down, so that's 2 players now alive for 4MV going forward. And Brute Force taking a wide split still on the west side. They control most of the high ground, in fact, so it's a very good position from them going to the late game, as you can see on the map right now, as we're going to head towards our next circle shift, and it does go very central. Brute Force now needs to somewhat take a battering ram to the western side of the circle. The 4MV, very weak. Voin Donkey, not in the greatest of positions either, certainly can be removed. But yeah, still a big task for Brute Force going forward.
On that western side, they do need to extract value. They sit on the west side of that valley that goes down the middle of this next stage of the circle. Seiji Osaka in the driving seat. DRS, they have been moving around on this east side, trying to play this edge style. Killer needs a little bit of healing, but once he's topped up, they can move in as 4, and that has been their kryptonite so far. This group is losing players, starting to bleed out, and not really giving themselves options with their mid-game rotates to make these late-game plays. And surviving with 1, sure, but in general, if they can tighten up their mid-game, I think that they could be on to a winner here. So we'll have to wait and see if they can do it this game.
Team Secret sends themselves over towards a nice little shack to play in. Influence Rage, though, they have eyes on over towards Team Liquid, who take even more casualties. And they started the day in 12. They've not been able to break out of it just yet. The Cellcom Digi Alliance are in front of them by just 1 point right now. With them going down to just 1 player, I think Team Liquid is not going much further in this game, which is a massive shame. So many high expectations for this team, which just haven't come to pass so far. With squads nigh on 60 points ahead of them at the moment, them getting into a top 3 is looking more and more unlikely by the minute.
Trying to make that bid for freedom, everybody putting their best foot forwards. D+ still going with Fabian. Cardozo to solo on the south side, and Jimmy cooking the nade. He knows the tree that he has to be worried about. That bounce goes perfect. And Cardozo's out. Team Liquid finished on 14th place, 0 elims this game. And in we go to the top 13 teams now, moving into stage 4, soon to be stage 5. Still all eyes on brute force on the west side. DRS take a knock on the northeast.
It's a real unfortunate grenade, actually, for Cardozo, because that's usually the type of nade that wouldn't knock due to LOS. But I think that it was a millimeter over the 50% mark on the tree to where that LOS didn't really come into play. So, yeah, sad for Cardozo. But again, I'm pretty sure he would have gone down shortly afterwards anyway. There's 37 going out in 10th place. 45 points accrued for themselves, but Influence Rage still continue to just battle out on this eastern edge. And they have been very comfy doing it as well. I think that's the biggest thing to consider here, is that they have been really confident in a lot of their fights they've been taking. DRS, Sleepy goes down to the play zone off the back of a knock from RRQ.
Looking to try and find this res for RRQ. They've left Fnatic up on that north side, playing 3-1 right now in their position. More concerned about the south, but DRS want to take this one back into control, losing a player. That's lit a fire underneath them, and they're putting pressure on, but Secret are going to be in their way as well. Trying to roll around an RRQ, looking for the cracks in the circle, but there really aren't any. It's a tight seal on the edge. And another player from DRS goes down under too much pressure on RRQ on the north side, and Secret on the inside as well. And once more, DRS start to bleed out.
DRS struggling in a big way. I mean, they've dropped the smokes. They're doing the best they can. Really nasty circle off towards the western side. Brute Force and RCB, their positions become more and more dangerous as time goes on. Void Donkey, though, actually in live the game out, but I'm excited to see what CAG Osaka can do with this game. I think that playing on this eastern edge, they have a lot of control to keep fair few of these teams basically blocked out on the eastern edge here. I do want to see them get a little bit more aggressive with it, though.
Fnatic trying to dig in and out smoke here against RCB, but it's not going to work out. In and to the fight, though, that's a little bit better, more successful on the approach there, as RCB lose one in the shack, gets flushed out immediately, and they're away. They know they need to move off this position anyway. Loxy maybe actually wants some vengeance. They turn around. They're going to try and clear out the back, and 2 players from RRQ will hold on the inside. First player for RCB, approach, goes down, gets knocked. Very low, and on the outside, the vehicles go up in smoke. I am putting a question mark on that re-approach from RCB. Unnecessary and dangerous. They go down.
Hello.
I think you're RCB, you realize that, you know, it's not going well for you in that location. And there's not really anywhere else for you to go as well. So you just take the improbable chance that you can really take a step back for potentially a better game in the future. Because I think even they sent off towards the western side, that likely would have been taken out anyway. 4MV down to 2 players. There was some knocks coming through from Brute Force, but it didn't go much further than that. I think that they're getting themselves back up into 4, but they'd love this crash over towards 4MV. They can play over on the edge here on the western side and take a position with vehicles that they have a lot to work with. Potentially can have a good game off the back of this, but it's CAG Osaka actually taking some really good shots their way too from that eastern edge. So right now Brute Force is very much in a troublesome location. Furia makes his way down in between Voin, Donkey as well as 4MV. Damn, this is a dangerous locale for both these teams.
Yeah, there's sort of that weird ridge line that sits between the 2 high grounds on the west and the east, and if CAG Osaka are preoccupied with the east side, Brute Force can move a little bit more freely over on that west. And Team Secret trying to fight off against Influence Rage right now with 4 points on the tables. If they get, oh, well, now they've got up to 6, but getting cut through as well, adding up to 7 blank. They're 3 points away from the second team to break 100 points, which would break the records from the previous groups, but they're already behind D+. However, they could overtake them on this game.
It's very likely as well. I think they've had such a strong game here and the momentum that they're fielding right now. You'd hope that they wouldn't go out too early. They still have to fend off versus RRQ as well as CAG Osaka. But Influence Rage, again, the momentum is good for this team. They're looking strong. Circle shifts over towards the compound controlled by Garnet at the moment. Very good stuff. The way that Brute Force set themselves up, though, is great for holding out Voin Donkey on this southwest side. Already finding a knockout.
Down there. I mean, it's on the inside. If you can get across the yard, you can get this res, but that is a dangerous crossing. Razor looks like he's going to go for it, though, and still not ready to stop it in through the door, and the res can come through. The thing that happens here, of course, is that it slows everything down. And Brute Force now, that full oversight. This is that ridge line that sits between those 2 high grounds I was talking about. You get ahead of Voin Donkey ID. They were hoping to be able to move out to this ridge line, but Brute Force have managed to move through it. That's the read on the circle. Looks like they might find an ankle as well, an angle rather, as well as Vexy gets taken down to a spray from Freezer.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, that's the big thing about that knock, is it's a real big slowdown for Voin Donkey. And with the circle starting to push in, they couldn't have come at a better moment for them. They're sending loads of smokes out just to try and extract this location. But it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Freezer consistently hitting some very nice shots. There was a great lineup onto the doorway on the top of the garage there as well from Freezer earlier on. He had no sight lines onto it, but knew the rough location.
Made over from Furia and Neos on the cross nades. Vexy rezzed, but still this rollout slow for Voin Donkey. Under so much pressure, it's really difficult to find those openings. Nades in through the garage door, I think are going to be super effective here for Brute Force. It can find that opener, that knock on the rollout, but it looks like Vexy's going to rampage on in towards the back lines. Are they going to find any knocks? That is what they do, but it's chaos here as Brute Force try and hold off this push. It doesn't look like they've gone either way on the knocks, but finally looking for the spray now. Furia nails the shot, losing 2 on the rollout here, and Voin Donkey are making a meal of this, but they do go down the end.
Losing 2 players on that rollout was big, and then Furia going down as well as 4MV is fighting that like look on this south side. We can't let this go to waste. This is going to really give us a good chance at potentially getting even further into this game. Already towards the top 5. Fearless will run down Furia as he gets out of the vehicle. Terrible timing for him. But Nate's starting to pour on through. Coming through from Baron, but Refus is down. On the high ground, and Baron is now in a horrible location. Great off angle, and 4MV sits himself into a position that was just down to 3 teams now. 4 from Influence Rage versus the 4 from CAG Osaka. This would be an awesome game for CAG Osaka to differentiate themselves from that middle pack.
Right now, D+ Kia, I don't think they got any placement points, which sits them on 102. Influence Rage on 99, which is 3 points behind. Blank in 3rd place. These placement points guarantee we've got a new top spot here, and they're from Brazil. The question is, how much further can they go with 9 eliminations, with that momentum that you talked about earlier? They have broken that 100-point barrier. It's the second team to do it in the group. And
maybe
जुटीवरको गेम कसरी बिग्रियो
point to put themselves in the lead. CAG Osaka with 4 players alive though,
last game
have a lot of control.
कहाँ मरेको रे
It's a weird circle in terms of terrain, how it lines up. There's a lot of areas where players can be.
मेन त कम्युनिकेसन नै मिलेको छैन के
Very aware of this though.
अब मिरामारको म्याचमा
Super easy to get crashed
नि त
upon over towards the crash site
अब म
itself.
सपोर्टर हो हैन
And I think that you need to
म
be
यत्रो
very
खेले
much
होला थाहा नै छ
played this location
अब
a
एसियन
few times in the
खेलेको
past.
धेरै चीजमा
And
खेलेछु
it is
अब
just one of those
मेरो
spots
माइन्डसेट के छ
where
म
if you're not
अगर
aware of
सपोर्ट
what's
भनेछ
going on
भने
around you
मतलब
inside
पछाडि
the
कभर
lobby,
देऊ भन्ने
you could be
बित्तिकै म पछाडि
easily
जान्छु
overwhelmed.
अगर
Looking for
त्यहाँ
influence
हजुरले
rates to
कास्टिङमा
still
अगर
shift back up
मेरो
over
पिओभी
towards the
देखाउनु
north
छ भने
side. Still doesn't help them
ठ्याक्क
too much
डिप्सनसम्म
considering
पुगेँ
they're on the
एङ्गल बनाउन
lower part of the
डिप्सनले
hilltop,
भन्यो
which
कि
means
जाऊ
CAG
तिमी पनि
Osaka,
जाऊ भन्यो म
regardless
त
of what
गइदिएँ
happens, will
उहाँहरू
have
पनि आफ्नो काम
advantage
गरे
in
नक
terms of being able to take the
अब
shots
आफ्नो
down
प्लेयर
here.
डिप्सन जसले कभर दिने त्यही नक खाइदिएर अब नक जसले कभर दिने त्यही
तैँले त्यो नक हानेपछि तैँले त्यो नक त राम्रै हाने थिइस् भाइ
Plenty of fights, but they've only got 6 elims to shoot
तर
for it.
तँलाई थाहा हुनुपर्ने के त्यहाँ अर्को प्लेयर पनि आउँछ भनेर स्मोक लगाएर चाहिँ त अगाडि जानुपर्ने तर प्लेयरको एचपी पनि लो थियो ठिकै भयो
मिरामार भन्नु
होइन सानोको कुरा आएर
होइन मिरामार ए सानोकमा त अर्कै कुरा भयो सानोक त खै के तालमा खेलेको मेन मिरामार बिग्रियो के सानोकहरू यिनीहरू राम्रै जान्छ मिरामार यस्तो म्याप हो जहाँ कम्युनिकेसन चाहिन्छ जहाँ सपोर्ट चाहिन्छ जहाँ पुरै टिम मिलेर खेल्न पर्छ नि त
ल अब ठुलो म्याप त्यस्तै त हो नि भाइ
त्यही वहीँ बिग्रिरहेछ नि त त्यही कम्युनिकेसन बिग्रियो सपोर्ट दिने प्लेयर नि नखाइदियो अब मैले त्यही भनेको कि सपोर्ट भन्ने बित्तिकै म जान्छु कसैले केही नसोच्छ भनेर
Fearless heads over towards a tree. They'd see a vehicle on this location, so it's pretty easy to spot out that there is a team there. There's damage splashed out over towards CAG Osaka, and 4 more nades to be sent uphill from Fearless.
ST-तिरै जोन बन्छ चाहिँ लागिरहेछ
Those trenches can be quite dangerous as well to have nades sent your way. They tend to bounce towards where you like to sit. So make sure you get out of there and not going to take too much damage from it. It can be important. Going up to influence rage with the circle flank. That is a nasty shift for that high ground that you were talking about as being so important to CAG Osaka.
Yeah, I mean, the high ground is great news for them. Good nade from Naoto. Sits right in the vehicle as well, funnily enough. But yeah, it's still a case where influence rage, though they have the circle, they just need to play a little bit passively. Right, eventually CAG Osaka has to crash into them or push into them. Garnet immediately makes his roll down. That was bold of a push from him, but he does make it happen.
Okay, and they actually get right into the edge of the circle. Not quite catching the rundown there. Could be really dangerous. Stalwart do lose their player fully. Look for the second rundown, but it's still not connected. Also down, leaves them on 3. Let's hope for Diego's spray and should be flushed away. Sure, Stalwart will go down, but they are looking for now the turnaround over the wall area from Influence Rage, who have moved up to meet them. 11 eliminations now added to their tally, and Brazil are looking to take the top spot back under control. D+, they're consistent. But Influence Rage are on fire now. And up the hill they go to try and find Maton, the last to fall. Up into the rock.
सब्सक्राइबर काउन्ट हाल्नै सकेन उसलाई
I don't know, man. I feel like in that situation, you push
ब्राउजरमा अब त्यो हाल्यो भने ब्राउजरको लगइन गर भन्छ मुझे लगइन गर्नै मिल्दैन कहाँबाट लगइन गर्ने हो मैले त्यस्तो ल लग्यो उजी विनर विनर चिकन डिनर
into a location where they could take shots. I think that maybe CAG Osaka underestimated how quickly and how aggressively
दुईटा चिकन डिनर लिएर गयो आज एउटा चिकन डिनर लिएर गयो
a little bit messy, could be tidied up towards the end, but the big news here is 2 teams push past 100 points, and we have a new top spot.
And someone needs to tell Influence Rage, Brute Force, and D+ to let other teams get some chicken dinners here. It is insane how these 3 teams are just soaking every single morsel they possibly can. But Influence Rage coming up big here. Brazil. I mean, let's be honest, Hot Juice, and be 100% honest with me here. Did you expect in this group Influence Rage to be the pop-up team from Brazil?
I didn't. I mean, I knew that they had a chip on their shoulder. I talked about it at the top of the show on day number 1, right? When they had a big tournament in Brazil, right? They didn't make it. And there was fans out there holding up, tombstones with Influence's Rage, saying RIP on them. And you know that they wanted to make a strong comeback here. Boom. And what a way they did it. I'm going to be real, Max, man. Did you expect Influence Rage to even be on the top of this after watching D plus Kia and Sandhawk here?
Not really.
Right?
Not really. It's a big surprise. So you covered Americas a lot more. Jukes, I have a question for you about Diego.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does this guy smile? Like, you just got a chicken dinner. He's like, he looks so serious, man. I'm like, oh my god, he's staring right through into my soul.
It's a Brazilian thing, you know. Carrillo does the same thing with Alpha 7. You know what I'm saying? I actually joked with him after they won the World Cup. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's actually smiling. He started laughing. You know,
man of sheer determination right there. Diego, you can see in his eyes.
I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, this squad is so seasoned. You got Long. I mean, this guy played with Alpha 7 back in the day. I think I got one of his like signed cards here. I mean, so I'm really excited to see Influence Rage, you know, finally starting to put up numbers that we should have expected all along from the squad.
I'm really happy with them, and especially the way they played this late game was they put on a clinic. They were clearing a lot of the teams, making space for themselves in the circle, especially that fight versus RRQ was quintessential to them reaching the late game in the first place. The way they pick it up and without losing a single player is huge. And then you just see the circle moves away from CAG, moves away from Star Wars. Sure, Influence don't have the high ground advantage, but if we just wait in the circle, guess what? The other teams, they're going to fight each other. We're just going to pick up
subscriber count हाल्नको लागि के भाइ
to wrap it up at the end. Like the education and the respect they give the other team is what allowed Influence to make sure this
मलाई फेरि थाहा छ मेरो बानी यस्तै छ के भाइ
Well, you did mention
एक चीज में लग जाओ तो पूरा लग जाती है.
I mean, if we think about them and 4B, which I know we talked about a bunch today, I mean, they're coming from similar locations. 4B obviously coming a little bit further than Kagasaka had to go.
बरुमा आएन छोडिदिन्छु हैन तर मलाई त्यो गर्नै पर्छ के एकचोटि क्या रम्बुको छोयो यता त नरगरौ है
I mean, they went straight to crash site, and rightfully so. I mean, especially in a zone like this, crash site is just so broken back then. So I'm glad that they had the heads up to do that. But it just goes to show how much of a step ahead they are of 4MV when it comes to these northern rotates. I mean, yeah, we have seen ridiculous northern circles here, Maxman, for all of today. But, you know, CSG Osaka are just proving that, hey, when it comes to these matches where we don't get circle, you know, we can still put up some serious points. And it's really good to see them do that, because I said it was only a matter of time, and I'm glad it happened here now.
We don't wish for circle luck, we make our own circle luck, and that's by just playing and moving into the circle at really quick pace, and especially getting good positions. Crash site, as you mentioned, Jason, in this terrain, it is fantastic because it is such a good defensible position, and outside of that, you got one compound that was held down by Voin Donkey ID, which also is a good position, but here you can see all the eastern teams that were really trying to breach a position. They couldn't even get close to CAG because they were just blasting teams away pretty much the entire time. Sure, they didn't get as many eliminations as they really would have liked. They only got 4, but they were making sure they're clearing that space, and so that all of those eastern teams aren't really a threat to their late game potential. So yeah, good terrain knowledge. They know where to send it. They sent it really early, and off the back of that, they get themselves a good second place position.
Yeah, 23 points coming for Influence Rage. Stalwart getting themselves 11. And 4B going to be getting there on the front page as well. But Jukes, another team we have to mention, Brute Force, off the back of their back-to-back victories in match 2 and 3 of the day. Once we had that first zone pop, they full sent it to Severny. And then, again, because of these shifts, they actually hung around the west side of the zone so they can avoid most of these teams and have more of a deeper run into this game. I'm just curious your thoughts of this. And for me, it's kind of like a really good understanding of how the game is actually playing out.
That's right. I mean, consistency, every player knows at this point. When you have a hard shift, the hard shift side is most likely going to be open. And Brute Force are no strangers to that. They saw that circle shift on over to shooting range, and they say, you know what, let's just move and haul it quick over there. It's going to be wide open. We'll have the entire lay of the land, and they utilized it. I mean, 2 chicken dinners. These guys are moving quickly. You could definitely see them kind of reaching their final form here, and it's rightfully so, Max, because I mean, you said the probability was slim. I'm going to say it's none. I think if Brute Force do not make it into the grand finals right here, right now, I don't think they're going to do it in the survival stage. That survival stage is just too stacked.
I gotta say though, their rotates on point, Jukes. They're very snappy. They show that they can take some really good fights. So in that sense, there's definitely potential. But we agreed on this, Jukes, before even this group began, right? The top 3 in this stage for Group Green is going to be way easier to achieve than making it through stage and last chance on being in the top 6. Like, this is definitely going to be their best opportunity to make it to London. But as right now, Influence Rage going to have D plus Kia and Brute Force up there. But I'd set up the gap here between D plus Kia and Brute Force between second and third. Brute Force could be slipping out the next game. Almost 20-point difference between them and 4MV, but we know these big games that they can be super consistent, and a few good matches could help them jump up in top 3. So they're not safe. They've had good games, but currently those two chicken dinners aren't enough to secure their spot in top 3. They need to keep getting good points on board.
Kind of crazy that we have 8 out of our 10 chicken dinners. 4/5 of our chicken dinners so far here in Group Green be towards just 3 teams. I mean, we have Team Liquid with 1, then we saw 4MV with 1 outside of that. Like, that is insane, man. You got to spread the wealth here, spread the food. Like, this is not what you want to see here when it's getting so close to, you know, holiday time. But as we do see here, I mean, Team Liquid with that chicken dinner, salvaging the results yesterday on the final match of the day. You pull that away, I think they're back on the bottom of the leaderboards here. I don't know what's going on with Team Liquid.
Hey, you know what time? You know what time it is, boys?
Salvation mode. Just damage control.
It's damage control time. Let's go, dude. They need to do that sooner rather than later. Because you said it, Jason, right? These top squads, they're soaking up everything. Look at this Influence Rage. D plus Kia both tied with 3 chicken dinners each. So close in the limb. But of course, Influence Rage just leading them up when it comes to placements. But that right there on the bottom, Max, man, to me, that's the most impressive.
They're so freaky, man. Ever since their first chicken dinner, short after their chicken dinner of yesterday, they got 8th place, but then chicken dinner, 2nd place, 3rd place, 3rd place, and then 8th place. But now they get themselves this chicken dinner. It's like, what? These guys are unstoppable. They are looking so confident on these games, and they're taking fights to make so much sense, Hot Jukes, right? And they avoid fights that don't make sense. Especially, we talked about it in the late game. I think a lot of teams maybe would have sent it onto CAG Osaka to take away the high ground position, but no, they're hyper aware of where teams are positioned, and especially they see how teams respond as a lobby to circle shifts, and like, oh well, that means all the teams are going to be to the west, all teams are going to be, well, to the east this game, or all teams are going to be southern side. We know that, we're going to let them fight, and when we have that big advantage, that man advantage, we're going to send it to wrap it up and get an easy chicken dinner. I really like what Influence Rage have been doing. They've showed multiple times they've been in the top 3, chances are they will be able to wrap up the game to get the chicken dinner. And D plus Kia and Influence Rage right now looking like absolute menaces this group, and I would love to see them in the finals if they make, of course, hopefully with their results, if they can maintain that in that type of
दुईटा ब्राजिलियन टिम जान्छ त लागिरहेछ मलाई दुईटै ब्राजिलियन टिम जान्छ
really for this team, but clearly they don't just care about circle luck like some other teams out there.
A7 गइसक्यो अब यो टिम मात्र बाँकी छ
over towards
INF को पनि गेम प्ले राम्रै
right now. Like RRQ has been struggling. DRS has been
survival stress त खेल्छ
I won't touch on them since they get chicken dinner. I guess we have to put Random Karyabra here as well.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously they're not too far out of the running, right? 42 is the bubble right now to get into top 11. Some of these teams are 1 point away. Some of these teams are like 10 points away, or just slightly above. To get yourself out of the bottom 5. But I'm wondering, like, is it going to come? Are they ever going to have that good game happen? Because you can look at some of these other groups, and those games didn't come. They get a twist of minds in particular. They didn't really ever have that good game that would propel them out of the bottom.
And even IC right now, they had one big good game, and it was not enough to push them out of bottom 5. So you're going to get to a point where if you have too big of a point difference between yourself and the teams that are currently the cutoff of top 11, then you're not going to make it. So we're still in the first half here. They can still make it, but we need to see some big games coming out eventually, or otherwise that gap is going to be hard to close.
Yeah, I mean, it's already getting close. 2nd and 4th place, 39-point gap. You got to do it right here, right now in Miramar.
Well, let's throw it back to our casters to get into our first Miramar of 2 of the day.
4MV को नाम सिर्फ एउटा टिम एउटा कास्टरले मात्र किन लिन्छ
as we are going to head on into Miramar, as you say, for the desert on Legs 11 match number 11 here on Group Green, where Eagles are inside in the top 3. And the humility is reigning supreme right now. D+ have been dethroned, but that shouldn't bother them too much, I don't think.
Nah, they're having a very good time. And to be honest with you, there are so many teams so far behind right now that just are not catching up to them. It is fine where they are. They just need to keep putting in the consistent performances. Influence Rage, I think that all things put aside, you can't deny that they are not playing very, very well inside this lobby. And I think that everyone who's a Brazilian PUBG Mobile esports fan should be very proud of this team. Alpha 7, although they didn't quite get the result that they were looking for in Group Yellow, I think they were playing versus some very difficult teams, but it's also nice to see a Brazilian team in first spot.
Definitely is. I mean, obviously, as the reigning world champs, you'd expect Alpha 7 maybe to have been able to do it. It is Influence Rage right now in the lead, but it is a tenuous lead. It's still fairly closely fought. Right now, they're heading down to Puerto Paraíso on Influence Rage. Circle goes all the way south. Los Leones is on the north side of the circle. Whilst it is a water circle, it's not super split, so teams will be crunching down to those hills on the south side, those long slopes towards that south coast, kind of what we're going to be seeing in these later circles, I imagine.
Bam, all the way down towards that south side then. Team Secret, central position. This is what we want to see from Team Secret. We know that they can have good performances, but it has been, like we said multiple times in the past, multiple times where Team Secret have found eliminations coming towards them rather than chasing those eliminations down for themselves, like we see from the likes of Influence Rage as well as Brute Force, who've had pretty significant games so far. It's hard really to, you know what, I'm having trouble. They give another team inside this lobby that actually hunts teams down. Maybe CHG Osaka, but that hasn't gone terribly well for them.
Well, Influence Rage, they have been doing pretty well so far over these last games, taking that top spot.
Welcome back to a quick interview with the 7WG. This one I'm joined by none other than the coach of Influence Rage, the team that's currently in first place, V2K. I mean, we have been hearing teams saying that the zones haven't been favoring them. How do you feel about zones favoring you or not favoring you?
I like the underdog team because anyone focus on us.
Okay, so he doesn't mind if the zones doesn't favor them. That way they don't focus on you. Okay, fair enough. Especially this last game that you guys just won in Erangel. The zone did not favor you guys. What was the key factor to being able to get that win?
Hard work and a lot of team play, and we are very confident, so it's easier.
Oh, okay. One more win. You said 2 wins today. One more win?
One more win.
Right on. Back to you guys. Thank you.
Look at that. I mean, that's pretty chill. He likes being little small. It's just little old Influence Rage over here, breaking records on 113 points right now in match 11.
Just little old me.
Yeah, it's just I'm just trying to get a little bit of chicken, you know. Come on, it's fine. It's fine. You guys don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I just have a leg. I'll just take a leg. Come on, guys.
And a breast actually.
Little boy. Hey, but look at me. I'm just a little guy.
I'm just making sandwiches from leftovers, guys. Come on, just chill.
Wait, did Dimples?
But actually, we're a big beast at the top of the lobby. Let's go.
RRQ अहिले पनि rotation.
I like it, and that's kind of playing into what I was saying before, right? With humility, really being a big presence at the top of the table teams.
I'd agree with you. I think that has been the case so far, where we've had 3 teams at the top. Every single one of them, I think, so far have remained fairly consistent, just because they have that humble nature to them. Even D+, when you see them get a big win, there is a lot of that from the coach, and calming them down, being like, look, this is just one of the first steps in a long road that goes all the way to PMGC Grand Finals. Now is not the time to be celebrating like this, and we can celebrate once the group's done. Which I think is the right way to go about this, especially in group stage where it can be so turbulent, let's say, in terms of where you place, what rankings you're going to be getting. But you could drop out in terms of outstage very easily. So right now it's not a case of
यसो ओबिएस चलाउन सिक्दै थिए राइदिएको हो क्या म
Grand Finals, and that's a lot of cash on board in terms of prize money. No, right now it's a case
ओबिएस
of you
चलाउन
don't
सिक्दै थिए त्यसैले आइदिएको हो क्या लाइभ
get that massive opportunity of going straight to the Grand
ल ल ल
Finals, having loads of time off to do research,
गेम पनि हो लास्ट म्याच ल ल निस्केको भाइ म
files on top of it. So yeah, it's a